What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am very late to this recap, not because I didn't watch the card or anything, or not because I just didn't want to. I just didn't have time. I went over to a mate's house to watch it. We had a bunch of friends over, so we watched the card, and then I had to walk home, and then I had a birthday that I had to attend at my own house for my sister, because Apparently 21 is important in Australia, even though there's no legal changes to anything in your life when you're 21, but we celebrate 21, so we had the whole family over and shit, and I had to fucking stay there for hours. But yeah, so now I'm doing it. I watched the whole card, obviously, live. I was posting on my community page, which you can keep up with, and I'll clog up your subscriptions feed. So yeah, you should subscribe so you can get constant posts in your community page. I'm the best community poster on YouTube. Trust me. That's a fact. I'm like the only one who uses the feature, to be honest. But regardless, UFC 322 was thing is, if it cut off before the co-main event, I would say generational card. If Weili goes out there and has if the co-main is even remotely decent, especially if Weili wins, and then if the main event is just fun in any aspect, I wouldn't even have cared who won. But if it had just been fun, I would say, or if it just ended in a finish for either of them, I would be okay with saying generational card. Because that 4-fight stretch from the prelim headliner to the feature fight of the from the third fight on the main card, is that called the feature fight on the main card? Yeah, whatever. That 4-fight stretch was on some smoke, bro. That was nuts, insane behavior. So the card overall was pretty good, though. How many finishes were there? 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 7 finishes. I know there's going to be some fucking nerd in the comment. 6, 7. There were 7 finishes on this card. Half the card was a finish. So I personally think it was a pretty good card. And we had multiple highlights. It wasn't like a card with 6 submissions, and 1 TKO finish. There were some brutal, proper violence KOs on this card. So overall, pretty good. And the results that mattered I know a lot of people were really high wanting JDM to win, needing that. I was just not overly attached to the main event. I was excited. I was anticipating it, but I was not in terms of, I wasn't, my mental health was not riding on the main event. But I got my CP victory, and I got BSD winning as well, which I was happy about. I wanted Weili to win, but the way that fight went, it was kind of just yeah, whatever. But overall, card was pretty solid. Let me know in the comments what you thought as well. And let's get on the way. Follow the Instagram and Twitter and shit. I lost a 13-leg plus 7,700 parlay. 13 legs at 77x odds because Malcolm Wellmaker lost. And that was the only leg that lost out of 13 of them. So, yeah, I'm never going to forgive Malcolm Wellmaker. We'll get to that in a second. Anyway, let's get underway with the recap. So, first fight, obviously the main event. We're starting up, moving down the card. I picked Islam by decision. I was relatively confident. I was less confident in my prediction video. And then as the week went on, I kind of changed, I didn't change my pick method of victory-wise, to submission or anything. But I changed from 3-2, 4-1-ish to 4-1, 5-0-ish. If you checked my Instagram where I posted the method of victories right at the end, which are kind of my final. I kept the method of victories the same in terms of the method, but I changed the rounds and all that kind of how they would actually get it done just a little bit. But I came to the conclusion, and I think I might have said it in my pressure rankings video just before the card, the day before the card. I started to really get a feeling it was going to turn out very Hamzat DDP-esque, and I was pretty spot on with that prediction, clearly. So yeah, it was just Islam being way too good at grappling. It was just a significant grappling advantage, and very clearly showing that Bilal is just no way comparable to Islam in any way. The people picking JDM were relying way too much on the Bilal fight of being but he stuffed Bilal's takedowns, and I'm Bilal is not doing all that. Bilal is shooting in, and he'll press you against the cage. He doesn't really use trips very much. He doesn't use any kind of advanced throws or anything like that. He's very much just a pure wrestling style guy with not much jiu-jitsu either. He's not going to take the back. There's not really much of a threat. He's not going to submit you. There's not a threat for him to wrap up a DAS if you go to your base on your knees in front of him. It's just none of that's going to happen. So I just was quite confident that Islam was just going to be too much for him, especially on the ground, and he would have a much more difficult time getting up. And that proved correct. Islam did go for submissions throughout the fight. He had a few close-ish ones. You know, he was close-ish to a... I guess you could... Not close, like as in he didn't have it like locked in, but like he was going for a bunch of Kimuras. He threatened a DAS at one point. He threatened a rear naked choke where he actually had one of Islam's arms pinned in the body triangle, which makes it really fucking difficult to defend a choke if you've trained jiu-jitsu before. But Jack, my pick for decision rather than submission in this fight was based on the fact that I rate Craig Jones as a method of preparation for the jiu-jitsu, for surviving on the grounds, for staying out of really bad spots, for not getting submitted, because I think it's the same reason why Volk survived as well on the ground as he did. The difference between Volk and JDM and the success they did have was the wrestling and the hustle to get up to the feet and the ability to sort of be more compact and make it more difficult for Islam to get good control and good position. And was Volk being smaller was just a bit harder to actually control on the ground. Now, was Islam compromised in the first fight? Maybe, but I like to think that was just Volk being generational. So, like, you know, Volk honestly moves up a spot in the GOAT list. I think Lucas, if he does come back, which I'm very certain he will, I'm thinking he's going to put Islam at 1, he's going to put Volk at 2 via the fact he had a really close fight with Islam in the first fight. So that's going to move him up. I'm thinking he's going to put Jones 3, Ilya 4, GSP 5, Merab 6. I'm thinking that's Lucas's top 6 of his GOAT list. If I predict that exactly, I'm actually a genius. And I'm thinking Peter Yan will be hovering around that 11 spot. We'll see when Lucas drops the GOAT list. Maybe he'll wait until after 310. Oh, not 310. 323. Why did I say 310? That was the last December card. I think he'll wait until after that with Merab and Pantoja, because both of those two will make jumps up. Merab, honestly, into the top 5 with a win, and Pantoja into the top 10 all time if they both win there. But great win for Islam, dominant, calls for the White House card. I think that's what's going to happen. I know, because normally I post the post-fight recap at like 4 p.m. Australia time after the cards, because normally the main card for us starts at 12. Instead, it started at 2. So finished a fair bit later, and I was just not going to be able to get... I could have got this video out like a little bit earlier, but it just would have been no point, because it wouldn't have been... I'm just scheduling it for my normal time now, because... And I'm going to do a whole separate video matchmaking welterweight. Because welterweight coming out of this event is just an absolute, not a mess, like it's fun as hell. It's one of the best divisions in the sport, but it is a absolute puzzle to matchmake. The 170-pound division. So I'm going to do a whole separate video. I know other people are going to beat me to the next fights to make video, but I'm okay with that, because I still don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do with welterweight, honestly. In terms of, like, it's very simple to be like, oh, give Morales a title shot, but then it's like, yeah, but what do you do with everything else? So that is the situation that we find ourselves in at 170. But good job, Islam. He was just too dominant grappling. He fucked up JDM's leg as well. JDM was genuinely crying or on the verge of tears at the end of round 4. It was just crazy to see. Like, he was in so much pain. So we'll be interested to see what the injury is there and how severe that is, because I hope it's not too bad. Like, I'd love to see him be able to make a turnaround for the Australia card. That would be amazing. But if he's fucking fractured his tibia, then that's just not gonna be an option. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event. So the co-main event, I just had to re-record my co-main event segment because the volume was being real goofy. But I picked Wei Li. I was going into it trying to not being too fake hardcore. I don't think it was a crazy take for me to be like, dude, I'm hyped up for this fight. I'm more excited for this than a lot of men's fights right now. Because going into it, I thought it was going to be competitive. I thought it was going to be high level. okay, fair enough. Shevchenko just takes her down a bunch and just size bullies her. We're just learning that just strength in women's MMA matters. Like, if you're just stronger and more physical, you're just gonna win women's MMA. So, like, it is what it is. I was hoping we'd get a bit of a switch up, a bit of fun, but that's just the clinical Shevchenko, I guess. Like, she's just gonna do that. She's gonna out physicality these girls. She's gonna do it to Grasso. She's gonna do it to Weili. Weili's just gonna go back down and smoke Dern and get the belt back, and it'll be like nothing changes. The Dern winning the belt will just be the most forgettable blip on the radar title win ever. But it is what it is. Let's move on. People are gonna say Cope. Deadass, if you did watch my prediction video, I was fucking tempted to pick Morales. Now I didn't. I got the pick wrong. Fair play. I was like very much on the logic is like Brady should take him down because he's a really good grappler. But also, I was telling myself, I'm like, dude, dominating Leon isn't that impressive, and beating Burns by decision is not that impressive. Morales is just dangerous as fuck on the feet, and he's physical as hell. And if he keeps it on the feet, he's gonna win via pressure against a man who got finished by Bilal. And so I kind of just was like, pick Brady. Everyone's picking Brady. You'll look dumb if he loses, right? If he wins and you don't pick him. So I was like, fuck it. But I should have stuck with my lean of Morales. He gets it done. The zest power is too much. Morales kind of got aura, I can't lie. Like, people are going to be like future champion, and like he probably will be because he's young as hell and he's just physical, so it's just going to be difficult to beat that level of just like athleticism and physicality. If you're not just elite at one thing, like I think Prates can beat him. I think Prates beats him in a striking match. Like I know he's physical, and if he grapples, maybe trouble, but like striking wise, he's not polished. He's just aggressive, and against someone like Brady, or like a Gilbert Burns who just really has nothing coming back your direction, he's just going to do what he wants. Like, Jake Matthews and Max Griffin took him to the cards, but he just kills Burns and Brady in a minute, or in the first round, I should say. So, great win. Yapped for about 30 minutes in his post-fight press conference, all these Ecuadorian reporters just asking him random questions. Will he get a title shot? Deservedly, probably should. I mean, deservedly, dude, this is what I mean. I'm not going to talk about this right now because it'll go on for too long. Because I'm literally going to do a whole matchmaking video for literally just welterweight. I'll matchmake the other guys now. Like, Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva. What else? I'll get to the other ones and Weili versus Jandiroba, versus Dern, sorry. I'll get to the rest in a bit. I'll matchmake every other fighter on this card except welterweight, because I just don't really care about the rest of the card. But what was I going to say? Yeah, he's just too aggressive. Like, he's just big and just powerful, so it's like, alright, what are you going to do? But yeah, crazy aura from Morales, I guess. The zest aura is too much. Brady was never going to stand a chance. So yeah, good job Morales. Definitely a prospect, definitely. Or not even prospect at this point. He's going to be top 3 at welterweight. I'll be interested to see what they do with the rankings. Because Leon was number 4 before this. Brady was number 2. Obviously, everyone's going to move down 1 because Islam's entering. So I guess you have to keep JDM 1 because you can't really put Bilal above him. There's a chance they'd put Morales above him. If Gary wins next weekend, then it's probably going to be Gary, JDM interchangeable, Morales, Prates, Gary, because Gary beat Prates, but then Shavkat, dude, it's crazy. Like, the top 7 at welterweight is stacked as fuck. But good job Morales, a very impressive win. Was swinging very wild though, like did not look particularly polished, but also you're not going to look particularly polished if you're just throwing haymakers for a finish. Anyway, let's move on. We flatlined Leon Edwards. We have 6 KOs out of our 6 UFC wins, and we have 9 knockdowns and will be breaking into the KO and knockdown all-time records in the UFC very soon. And we are future champions, and we beat JDM. Yeah, I'm going to do the we shit. I don't care, bro. This was the result that mattered to me most. I needed Prates to win, and I would have been happy with anything else. I could have gone 1-13 on picks. If I got Prates KO, I would not have cared. I could have lost all my money. I didn't. I still lost a fraction on this card. I was profitable on the day because I cooked on NBA. But Jokic clutched up for me for the 12-leg multi across the whole day. But regardless, I did make a slight loss on this card. Mostly because of fucking Malcolm Wellmaker. I'll get to him in a second. Not safe. Personal beef with that man. Nah. It's weirdly enough, I don't care as much as I should. Because I lost out on $400 from $5 from one leg. So I weirdly am not that upset just because the fight was cool and I think Ewan's definitely a guy to watch. But yeah, Wellmaker, fucking bomb. But no, Prates flatlines Leon Edwards. We do not concern ourselves with meaningless backpack control in round one. Prates just shrugged off Leon's grappling, as in like he got grappled. But that's the thing with Prates. He needs some time to get himself into it. Like he was looking a bit goofy, a bit mid against Neil in the first like minute or two, and then he gets his flow state, and then he's just nasty with it, and you just aren't gonna do shit to him. And his offense is just crazy, and he's gonna find you. And Leon, it looked like in round two after he just like he grappled and was like, okay, cool. But then as soon as Prates just really started backing him up, he just doesn't have the offense. That's why I was so confident in Prates, because it's not like a Jeff Neal who's got the offense to maybe deter you or crack you or send you back. Like, Gary is just so effective at keeping range. So, two side notes, just how good is Ian Gary, and as a sub-mark, just how good of a striker is MVP. Because MVP had Ian Gary grappling for his fucking life, and Ian Gary has looked lights out. Honestly, fair play, how good is Shavka? Because he looked pretty good against Gary on the feet too. But MVP looked lights out on the feet against Gary, who has just pretty much schooled almost everyone else he's fought on the feet. So, yeah, MVP and Gary both extremely good strikers, because Gary's just quick as fuck and he's good at movement. But anyone stationary, I said, I popped my bedtime stream and just let him know, bro, hey, dread it, run from it. And this was before the main event, obviously, because his stream crashed out. But, his stream cut out, but I was like, hey, Prates KOing JDM arrives all the same. He's going to do it. JDM is the style. He's a little bit more difficult of a matchup than Neil, but he's the style to be caught by, he is the style to be caught by Prates, because he's front-footed, he's on the front foot, he's he's on his feet, like he's not super light on his feet, he's pretty heavy on the feet. And he's just there to be hit with the box. Like, he's just more of a boxer. He's not a range striker as per se, like a Gary who's going to keep distance. So I truly believe Prates is a top 2 or 3 striker, top 3 striker clearly at welterweight, most powerful guy at welterweight for sure. There's a difference between Morales just big meaty overhand clubbing Sean Brady, and then Carlos Prates, who has now KO'd Li Jingliang, who'd never been KO'd before that, Jeff Neal, who'd never been KO'd before that, and now Leon Edwards, who'd never been KO'd before that. Not to say Leon has like a granite chin, but like there's still never been finished by TKO or KO before. And I think he was only the second person to finish Magny by like actual flatline KO. I probably should have just left that out because I've just put a caveat on that, and it's not that impressive to finish Magny. But not many people will like flatline Magny is my point. But very impressive win. Again, I'll talk about him in my welterweight matchmaking video tomorrow because it's an absolute mess. I got no clue what to do. I still don't know what to do. There's so many fun fights. Like, you can do him Morales, you can do him Shavkat, you can do him Usman, you can do him JDM. You know, put him JDM. Hey, put him Makhachev. We do not concern ourselves with grappling. We will shrug off any grappling and just KO you within the... if we get 30 seconds on the feet with Islam, we're sleeping him out cold. Just saying. Anyway, let's move on. BSD Benoit Saint-Denis. Look at this image, bro. Poor Benny. The craziest thing is 5 seconds later, Benny was complaining about the stoppage when this screenshot exists. Like, you cannot be complaining about an early stoppage when this is a photo of you on the canvas. Got absolute flatline. He kind of kicked BSD's leg out. There's not a lot to talk about. Just kicked BSD's leg out immediately. Lands a few shots in the clinch. BSD lands a few shots in the clinch. Lands a big shot. Kind of on the neck, slight side of the jaw. Benny just has no chin. Like, he's just not got the durability at all. Who does BSD fight? There's a lot of options. It's lightweight. It's fun as hell. Who do you give him? It's no wrong way to eat these races. Like, you just give him whatever the fuck you want, and it's just fun. Like, anyone below 5. Honestly, just because Gaethje's being a bitch and turning down anything that's not a title fight, just tell him to fight him. Dan Hooker after he loses to Arman. presumably next week would be okay as well. Gamrot would be not. Gamrot works. Fiziev works. I think he's in that. It's Fiziev, Gamrot, or Hooker in my opinion. And then if they really pushed him, you could maybe do a Gaethje. But yeah. Anyway, great win for BSD. I don't know if he called a specific name out. There's not a lot to talk about. If Lucas doesn't come back for this, a potential GOAT list discussion and BSD winning by 15 seconds KO, dude, I don't know what's going to bring him back. Anyway, though, let's move back down to the prelims. Bo Nickel. You're not Bot Nickel for now. It's kind of like with Mario Bautista. You know, he can have his name back, Bautista, until he puts on another stinker. You know, the fact that you dropped Umar, you know, you can have your proper name back. For now. Same with Bo Nickel. You know, you will be relieved of the Bot Nickel moniker until you put on another 29-28 Stinkfest decision. But no, fair play. He did look good. He came out immediately, just like slammed Vieira down. Looked like he was about to almost finish him. Maybe like landed on his head or something and was like punching him a bunch of times. Hands looked a bit better. Look, did he look like a fucking world champion? No. Frick you, man. All these haters, frick you frickin' guys. Dude, like, you lost aura, though. Like, you could have just said, hey, and fuck you, all the haters. You're a bunch of pussy-ass fat. Like, he could have just gone full on with it. But he played into the, like, hey, I'm not allowed to swear on ESPN, guys. But I can't wait to go home and eat some berries. Like, alright, bro. He managed to get a flatline head kick KO and then still lose aura in his post-fight interview. But no, fair play. Good performance. Can't hate this time. We'll see how far he can take it. Who do you give Bo Nickel next? Honestly, it's a good fucking question. Not a ranked opponent, certainly. And this does kind of, like, look, most people don't finish Vieira. Like, I'll give him credit. Like, finishing Vieira, pretty impressive. I'll say that. So, who do you give Bo Nickel? I wouldn't mind a Gastelum fight. You could do Gastelum. That's actually probably a decent move. Because, like, if you lose to Gastelum at this stage, you're just not going to be anything. So, yeah, honestly, Gastelum, Bo Nickel. I wouldn't mind as a fight. Anyway, though, let's move on. Let's wrap this video up in less than 25 minutes. Robocop, just very Costa-esque, just out-pressured and out-damaged Kopylov. He was just too aggressive for him. Kopylov just can't deal with aggression, clearly. Grappling aggression or striking aggression. He had Robocop down. There was a few moments of hairiness. I think he tagged him in the third or something, but overall a pretty impressive win for Robocop. And then we got, I think Robocop can fight Roman Dolidze next. I'll say that's a good matchup for him, I'd say, just to get an easy win. You know, the Cannonier fight, was it too soon? I wouldn't say too soon. Like, in another world, he lands like 2 more clean strikes and that fight gets stopped in round 1. So he's still potential for like top 15 in that, like, maybe scraping that 10 range with the right opponent because of how physical he is. But yeah, who's next? Fucking Aaron Blanchfield subbed Cortez. I needed the fight to go decision because I had a parlay with all three WMMA fights to go decision. So that would have made me a bit of cash. But good job, subbed Cortez. This was the one fight I wasn't actually watching because it was I had it in my ear just listening while I was on my way to my mate's house. Well, maker, bro. Fuck this guy. Nah, Patrick Ewing's good, bro. Is that his name? Patrick Ewing? That sounds right. Christopher Ewing. Surely. Am I bugging? Please tell. Why did I just put Patrick out there? Surely his name's Patrick. If his name's not Patrick, I don't know where the fuck I got Patrick from. Ethan Ewing. Where the fuck did I get Patrick from, bro? Ethan Ewing. I'm not a casual. Okay, obviously I didn't know who this guy was. No one did. Everyone picked Wellmaker. If you say you picked Ewing and there's no actual tape proof, you're lying. So, I don't know, man. I gave him a chance, bro. I said it would be a tough fight. Like, I just kind of was like, oh, Wellmaker KO. This dude's taking it on 2 days' notice. So, alright, bro. Killed my potential $400 win. Thanks for that, buddy. Fucking bum. Fuck this guy. Dorcas fucking killed GM3 immediately. I had Dorcas by KO, bro. And this guy just subs him. He's clubbing sub. Like, fuck off. I was getting unlucky with some method of victories. I still got 7 out of 14 on method of victories and 10 out of 14 on the whole card. Chepe, Sabatini. Sabatini's real good at grappling. He's insufferable to watch, but fair play. Klein's actually real good. She'll probably be a champ down the line. She's young. She'll probably be a champ down the line at strawweight. And Sisakayev continues to look mid. Continues to make me more confident that anyone in that, anyone above the 40 range with the right stylistic matchup can probably beat him. He probably stylistically beats a Bo Nickel, honestly. But Bo did look good, so maybe not. That might be a dumb take. So we'll see what happens with him. But nasty KO in the third round, and then Camilo beat beat Borshev by decision. Borshev just can't defend takedowns. Anyway, guys, goodbye. Late to the reaction. I'll do a full yap, half hour, 45-minute fucking welterweight video tomorrow or something. But what other videos do you guys want to see? Let me know. And yeah, goodbye. And where's Islam on the GOAT list too, in your opinion?